today is another link in my chain reaction, another link in the chain podcast. And here with me, I am Councillor Barbara Murray, currently the Lord Mayor of Liverpool. And with me today is Sanjay, who I met at Hope University when there was an event for South Liverpool businesses. Sanjay has a very successful spice business in Liverpool, not far from the retail park. Is that right, Sanjay?
That's right, yeah, just around the corner from the retail park in Speak, so yeah.
And how long have you been based there?
So gosh, we've had our factory there for 4 years. Prior to that, for a few years, we were in Widnes, and prior to that, we were a kitchen table business on my mum's and my kitchen table. So yeah, 4 years in Speak.
4 years in Speak, and that's actually quite a good period. I know when we've spoken previously, your mum's the star of the whole business, isn't she?
Very
Can
much
you
so.
tell us something about your mum's background and how she arrived where she is today?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, as you mentioned, very much she's the star of the show, and Spice Kitchen was formed with her actually and for her as a retirement hobby going back, 13, 14 years ago. But just to rewind a bit before we talk about that, she was actually born in Kenya. So we're from Indian sort of heritage, shall we say, but both my parents were born in Kenya, in East Africa. My mum sort of grew up there until the age of 10, and then her whole family moved back to India. So she kind of was born in Kenya and raised in India. And then in her early 20s, she had an arranged marriage with my dad and kind of moved here, really. But she's always been an amazing cook, really adventurous. She's vegetarian as well, so she's never eaten meat in her life, but very much an experimentative cook. And just through some amazing things, and we've got this family heirloom, which I can talk to you about, she's really honed her spice skills. And having grown up around spices in East Africa and in India, and then with this spice grinder that we have, the rest is history, as they say, in terms of, the knowledge that she has, pouring it into the business that we have as kind of the reason that it gave it the fuel that kind of has kind of helped it grow.
Well, I understand your mum's a great cook. She understands spices, and I do think if you're not eating meat, you do really want your veg to taste good, don't you?
Exactly.
But I think more than that, it's about, I don't know, how you collect that knowledge, because recipes, did your mum make them up? Did you record them? Will you be archiving what your mother has actually brought to the table?
So, yeah, it's a good question. It's quite a tricky question in some ways. Firstly, I think my mum's got influence from East Africa because there's obviously African cooking there and Indian cooking. It's a plethora of cultures there. And then having grown up in India and being from an Indian sort of background, spices are central to the culture and food is central to the culture as well. So she's got amazing knowledge that she learnt from her older sisters and, my grandmother. Moving here, though, when she moved to Birmingham, when she first moved here and still lives in Birmingham, that's been a melting pot of cultures.
Yes.
And so over the last 50 years as she's been there, she's really been able to hone her skills, but also had all those influences from other immigrants who've come to the city, from Chinese and Jamaican backgrounds and Mexican food. And obviously there's been a real development in all of those food sort of coming in. And she's got friends from loads of different cultures. So I guess it's been the business, and in a way is a story of mum's journey around the world, really, but collecting all of that knowledge from her Indian heritage, from her early years in Africa, but also then from Birmingham, actually, from this kind of amazing melting pot that we have in the UK. And she's just super experimentative. So I remember growing up avidly watching Ready Steady Cook with her, and she used to love that programme. It was kind of a real warm part of my childhood, and I've never seen anyone be able to take a few frugal ingredients out of a fridge, some vegetables that look like they're going slightly bad and a few tinned pantry items and turn them into something delicious. She is an expert in that and has hopefully passed on some of those skills to me as well.
That's really interesting. And it sort of causes me to come to another question, because I don't think I've got this skill. I think my son may have this skill. He's quite a good cook. How do you know what spices go with what? Is that just all experimenting and testing and tasting and that sort of thing? And there's a supplementary to that, because you mentioned your mum's been influenced by Chinese, Indian, African, all around the world food. And I just wonder again how you actually adapt what's come from a given country. They probably have preferences, and then how you interact with those in your cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first part of that is obviously how do you get good at that? I think like any skill, it's about practice and it's about throwing yourself in and not being too afraid of it. So, and it's all about experimentation. So the more time you spend cooking in a kitchen, typically the people who say they can't cook or won't cook have spent very little time in the kitchen. They've had a few disasters and it's kind of put them off and they've lost their confidence. Cooking's it's a fun art and a skill and a science all rolled into one. And it's all about spending more time in the kitchen. And the best cooks that I've seen and how my mum taught me is, look, what's the worst that can happen? You could burn a dish. It might be inedible. You might be hungry for a few hours because you might need to make something and it doesn't taste very good and you might need to make something else. But you're better off trying than never trying at all. So it's all about that time. And I've been in the kitchen from literally the age of 2 or 3, like I have with my 7-year-old now, and my mum's teaching her. So it's just been kind of ingrained in me in a way, and I'm so pleased that mum was able to pass that skill like she was passed on to her. But I think the other thing as well, like chefs have and all good cooks, is all about taste. You've got to develop a good palate, and you've just got to understand. As long as there's obviously some skill to cooking something and grilling something and baking something. But when it comes to spices, it's obviously just about flavour. Spices are there for flavour. And, we specialise in spice blends specifically, which are really, really easy to use. But the key thing I try and show people is just experiment with the spice blends and understand what the key flavours are behind them. And then they're your weapons in your kitchen. So to give you a context on it, if you take garam masala, for example, which is the quintessential Indian blend.
Yeah, I do use that sometimes.
Perfect, yeah. So the main flavour in that is cumin. So you'll be very aware of what cumin tastes like. And if you know what coriander tastes like, coriander seeds or coriander powder, it's actually quite citrusy. So if you understand the keynote flavours, then when you come to cook something, you're thinking, I'm going to roast some root vegetables. You'll be like, actually, I could use garam masala here with a bit of honey, and actually it'll make these roast vegetables taste amazing. And sometimes you don't need a lot. And then if you move on to, say, I don't know, a Chinese blend, which is very, very different, that's a lot more star anise and licorice type flavours.
Yes.
That's the main keynote flavour in it. And then you move to like a Jamaican jerk seasoning, that's allspice. So if you taste allspice on its own, which I encourage some of our customers to do, and it's also got thyme in it, then again, you're looking at those blends, not thinking, oh my God, what do I do with this? I need to cook a curry with it. But actually, if I use garam masala, that's mainly cumin. And if I put it on X, then it's going to taste great. So spices are all about that flavour. And actually, my mum's philosophy, which is always lent to me, is keep it simple. When it comes to cooking, don't overcomplicate the flavours. Don't throw in 3 or 4 different blends and have like all of these flavours going on. Keep it simple. So when you're roasting those root vegetables, like I said, sometimes all you need is salt, a bit of cumin, a bit of honey, and they'll taste delicious. You don't need a lot. And that should be the key flavour of that part of your meal. And then something else that you're having it with, the chicken, could have a little bit of something else spice. And actually the simplicity is sometimes the most powerful thing, whereas people actually think, oh my God, it's going to be really complicated. You've got to throw in 100 different ingredients for it to taste good. And that's not what cooking's all about for me and for my mum anyway.
Well, you've just taught me some things about myself. I often burn food. And if that's all I've got, I'll eat it burnt. Yeah. Dreadful taste. But I think I do that. I've got that sin on me of throwing everything in the cupboard onto a piece of meat, say, or into a curry, thinking I'm improving the flavour, and really I'm just making things clash. Is that a word? Flavours clash?
It could be clash. And food and curries and a lot of these dishes are built on layers of flavour. So layers of flavour are really important. So if you're cooking a curry, you want to be cooking your onions well. You want ginger, you want garlic, you want whatever you're cooking in the base, for example. You do want a layer of spices, so be it like a garam masala or a curry powder, or you can have cumin, turmeric, mustard, and all these separate ingredients, and then a bit of maybe cream or buttercream or whatever, buttermilk or whatever else you're putting in there, and fresh coriander. So you want the layers of flavours like you have with Mexican food if you're having a taco, but sometimes you don't want 100 flavours. You just want a few
No.
different...
I'm really
you know what I mean?
listening closely to what you're saying. As I said, my son is a very good cook.
Yeah.
And he always starts his curries with those bases.
Yeah, exactly.
Garlic and ginger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it.
And the other thing you mentioned was actually really interesting, was how do we kind of communicate that? And our business and what we're trying to advocate for, and I've got a cookbook obviously, is actually, for me, probably more than even my mum, I try and use blends in creative ways, because once you know what flavours there are, and once you've got, say, I don't know, we've got an amazing Raz el Hanout blend, which from Morocco, to cook those beautiful Moroccan tagines if you've ever had one. Oh. But I use Raz el Hanout to make soups all the time. My daughter loves it. You can make like a Moroccan-inspired spiced stew or kind of soup. And so you can use blends in really creative ways. I had Tex-Mex to like my cottage pie sometimes, just to add a bit of flavour. And people are like, oh, you can't add it to cottage pie. But like, actually, it just makes it taste great. So if you understand the flavours, you can actually experiment and add them to others and fuse different things together. And it just helps you to make delicious food, really.
And this is really what's very interesting, because I keep thinking about cookbooks and recipes. And they're step-by-step how to cook something.
Yeah.
And they may say throw a little bit of something in. But you're actually coming with a wide palette of flavours and notes that we really need to taste with the mouth first. So in the way we learn our alphabet or numbers, we need to learn these individual tastes.
Exactly.
And then I suppose from that you would imagine learn which ones you like.
Yes.
And the ones you like you can put in anything really, can't you, if you so wish?
Exactly that. And that's what we've always been advocating for since we started. And we think we've taken a lot of customers, you know, hopefully hundreds of thousands now, through a journey of, you know, through their cooking journeys.
Yes.
And I know we've started to, I'm a massive advocate because, again, I've got a 7-year-old, to get your kids in the kitchen and cooking as a parent with kids to help develop this skill, which, again, I've been blessed with, and I'm hopefully trying to bless my daughter with, because it's, you know, I feel one of the greatest skills that luckily my mum passed on to me, and I want to definitely make sure my daughter learns the same.
It's in your family as well.
It's in the family as well.
And you're going to pass it on.
So, yeah.
I wonder now, though, I'm talking more specifically around your business. Can I have a look at one of those tins?
Absolutely, yeah. So I'll give you this round tin first to have a look at. But yeah, these are the blends that you do.
So this is a, it says recipe book and spice spoon included, but this is a box of spices.
Yeah, Barbara, I'll open it up for you. So this is really important. So what we have here is a traditional Indian spice box.
Wow.
So in India, this is called a masala dabba, actually. And basically pretty much, I say every, but most Indian households around the world have a tin like this. So we didn't invent this tin. This tin has been around for a long time, and it's very, very traditional and part of the culture.
Smells wonderful.
These aren't fresh, actually. This is a sample tin that's been sitting around a while. But still, you can smell how strong they are.
They are wonderful, yeah.
But this is a stainless steel tin. It's got 7 little pots inside, as you can see. It comes with a little spoon, which should be somewhere in that tin.
Yes.
What we've done is taken this really humble stainless, there we go. So we've taken this very sort of humble stainless steel tin, which really only existed within Indian households or Asian households. And we really made it accessible. But what we've done is we filled it with spices. We've got different collections. We have got a traditional Indian one. Yeah. This is actually the best-selling one, which is the world one. So these are all of our blends, which I was talking about.
So everything's in here.
Everything's in there. It does come with a recipe guide, which I've left at home. And the kind of one of the most intriguing things is this gift wrap. Actually, my mum makes out of saris.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
So this is handmade, and she makes lots and lots of these. But this is kind of where we started, where in the early days, we quickly realised, because we only started online, but when we started doing our first sort of markets, or whatever you want to call Christmas markets, people were buying them as gifts, and we didn't even clock that this was such a giftable product.
Yes.
And my mum's also, on top of all the food side, an amazing seamstress.
Yes.
And to sew sari fabric's very complicated and difficult. But she took one of her saris, actually one that she was gifted on her wedding day, believe it or not. She doesn't all share that information. She's probably going to kill me when she hears it, tells everyone, everyone knows that. And she cut it up and made this beautiful gift wrap. And kind of that's the main thing that we do, really, is sell these sari-wrapped gift boxes.
But this is wonderful. But so, in Garston, where you're based, is it like a shop you have, or is it a unit that people buy online and you just store there? How does the business part of things work, and how do you get these sort of things to people like me?
Sure, good question. So In Garston, we've got our factory, should we say? So that's our only production unit. We don't have a shop there, so it's not open to members of the public. And in terms of the products, we sell online. So we've got our own website, which is spicekitchenuk.com. We sell on Amazon, and we're now on social media with Instagram. We're actually on TikTok Shop as of last week, which lots of people are shopping on. But actually, we've been really successful over the last, 7-8 years of getting our products into retailers. So we're now in 600 UK retailers. So we're stocked in Selfridges, Whole Foods in London, and then lots and lots of farm shops, delis, garden centres. Locally, I think we're in Gordale Garden Centre on the Wirral. We're just about to get some of our hot chocolates into Claremont Farm on the Wirral. There's a beautiful deli in West Kirby called Mother. And there's one amazing store in town called Wonder, which is next to the Pocket Cafe, just around the corner from John Lewis. So that's a lovely little shop of Liverpool, mainly 50% Liverpool-made products. And Grace, who runs that, is great. So
that's what I like, what you just said there, Liverpool-made products, because I think that's really important when we shop locally, that we are buying stuff that's been produced locally. I call it the pound in Liverpool stays in Liverpool. And that's good for our economy. Businesses being successful is work, but it also brings money into our region and pays the rent, doesn't it?
And we've got some amazing makers. Everyone's really supportive here. You've got, amazing artists like Jenny Dunlop, who's got a studio in West Kirby. You've got Sophie Green, who's another local artist and illustrator who's got loads of products over the city. Actually, we've just got our products into Liverpool Museum as well, actually, as of
fantastic.
a few weeks ago. So, we've been lucky to be supported by that whole of the Liverpool sort of tourism board, really, who are an amazing network of people. And through one lady, and specifically Jackie, who runs the ferry terminal. So we're stocked with Jackie at the ferry terminal.
What you probably are aware of, Sanjay, is we have virtually a liner a day during the summer here at Liverpool. And I think a lot of the people who live in the city don't even realise the footfall of those liners. They are massive. They have thousands of people on them. And they're wandering in. And I can see why this would sell, because for people travelling, this has got that global feel to it, hasn't it? But do you know, the smells coming out of this tin are gorgeous.
I know,
making me very hungry.
Well, actually, at the ferry terminal, we also make gingerbread hot chocolate and chai hot chocolate and some chocolate bars with those flavours in. And those we've got a Made in Liverpool sticker that goes on our products for local retailers. And we've stuck them on all of our products and had them in the ferry terminal. And they've actually been flying, as well as these, it's all the smaller products that obviously these various tourists who are coming into the city want to pick up. So maybe have a little snack on our chocolate when they're back on the boat.
So you can literally go to those places in Liverpool and taste things. And you can buy these by looking and feeling. I am very much a tactile person. And then if you want to get extra, you can go online and top up, that sort of thing. Could you just say again what your website is for us?
The website, absolutely. The website is spicekitchenuk.com.
Thank you. That's lovely and easy to remember.
It is.
It's been wonderful talking to you today, and please give my best regards to your mum.
I absolutely will.
I hope
Thank
you bring
so
her
much.
next time.
I absolutely will. Thank you so much, Barbara.
You're welcome.
What a pleasure.